Well, hi friends, this is Joy from Joyful Creations, and I'm cooking up today some delicious chicken noodle soup in my crock pot. So the weather's been a little bit colder here in sunny Florida, and I am enjoying it. And I hope wherever you are, you're enjoying your weather too. Listen, there's been so much really bad weather all over the country, and so many people are suffering. So I'd just like to take a moment to remember them. And if you're a praying person, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And I hope that they're able to build back even better with the help of their friends and neighbors. Okay, so let's get started on our chicken noodle soup. I am going to add right to the crock pot my chicken breasts. You can use two regular sized chicken breasts or one large chicken breast, boneless. Put that right in your crock pot. To that, add about 3 carrots, 2 to 3 carrots, depending on the size. It'll give you about a cup to a cup and a quarter of chopped carrots. Just throw those right in. Use 3 stalks of celery and chop those up and put those right into the crock pot. To that, we're going to add a mixture of a 1/4 cup of flour and 4 cups of water, stirred and combined. And I've already done that ahead of time. That will help the broth become a little bit thicker. You can also use cornstarch instead of the flour water mixture. You still would need to either add in 4 cups of water or 4 more cups of broth, and then to that add a few tablespoons of cornstarch. That also helps thicken up. But this particular recipe calls for flour and water, so that's what I'm using today. And it's going to get nice and thick as it cooks. So we've added that in, and now to that we're going to just add some delicious seasoning. And you can put in just about whatever kind of seasonings you like. I'm going to put an Italian seasoning blend. It has thyme and oregano and rosemary and basil. And so I'm going to just put in about a 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon. And you may need more as it's cooking. You're just going to have to taste it as it cooks and add a little bit more in if you need to. Myself, I like to add a little bit less in the beginning and err on the side of caution, because you cannot take out. If you put in too much, you can't take it out. So if you put in too little, you can add a little bit more to your liking. And I'm also going to add some garlic powder, about a 1/4 teaspoon. You can use fresh garlic or minced garlic if you like. I'm choosing to use the powder today. To that, we're going to add in some salt and pepper. And again, I'm putting a teaspoon of salt in because I'm using unsalted chicken broth, and a 1/4 teaspoon of the pepper. And then I am going to add a bay leaf to that. So these are just dried bay leaves that come in a bottle. If you have a little garden, you can use fresh. That would be even better. So I'm just going to set those in there. And that's going to add a nice aroma and a nice flavoring as the soup cooks. And then when it's all done, you're going to remove those bay leaves. You don't want to eat them. Just remove them from your soup before you serve for eating. Okay, and that's it. I just give it a quick stir. And then finally, we're going to add in 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm using the Swanson unsalted chicken broth today. They were on BOGO. Buy one, get one at Publix, which is always a good bargain. And I like to use the unsalted because that way I can control my salt level. And I am not supposed to have a lot of salt, so that really helps me to become a little bit healthier as I'm cooking one of my favorite comfort foods. And believe it or not, even with unsalted, you have to read the label, because even with unsalted chicken broth, it still has 35 milligrams of salt in it, which is only 2%, but still, it's not totally salt-free, which, as you would expect, being unsalted. So anyway, some of that salt probably comes from the other ingredients that are in the broth. Also, you can add to this onion a half a cup of a half small chopped up onion would be really good in this. I'm choosing right now not to add that. I'm going to add that later, because what I do, I cook this up with my pup in mind also, and she's going to eat a little bit of this mixed in her kibble, and so doggies are not supposed to have onion. That will hurt them. So I leave the onion out. I take out her portion. When it's done, I'll put the onion in a little bit later and let it cook for about 15-20 minutes. But if you don't have to worry about a doggie that you're going to feed some of your food to, then you'll just add the onions in now. You chop up a half an onion and add it to the crock pot now. Okay, so we've got all our ingredients. We gave it a stir. My tongue is tied today for some reason. And now we're just going to turn this on. I'm going to choose to turn it on high for about 4 to 6 hours, and I'm going to watch it. And as it gets closer to being done, I'm going to add in my noodles. Now, you can add in frozen noodles at that time, or you can add in regular, any kind of type of noodle that you like. I'm going to add in wide egg noodles. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to pre-boil those or not. You can add them in unboiled, but they're going to soak up the broth, and they'll need to cook a little bit longer if I do that. If I pre-boil them on the stove and then add them, of course it won't take as long for that to be done at the end. So I'm going to think about that and see how I feel. And that's the great thing about cooking, right? You can switch it up a little bit and do what you like or what works for you best. So I guess that's it for now. I hope you're having a great Sunday, and I will hop on again later to show you the finished product. And oh, I also wanted to mention, in about 3 hours or so, 3.5 hours, I'm going to take the whole chicken breast out, and I'm going to shred it. I'm going to shred it nicely with a couple of forks or a fork and knife, and then I'm going to put that back into the mixture and stir it up and let it cook through for the final hour. And when it's getting towards completion, maybe about a half hour or so before it's done, according to my timer, I am going to then add the noodles. So unfortunately, I don't have right now a feature on my phone that pauses and allows me to add to the video, which is why I completely stop the video and then add another video later. So if you're wondering why I just don't pause and add, that's why. As time goes on, I'm going to research and try to figure out what some better technology I can use to make my videos even better. But for now, this works for me, and it works for my budget, so that's why you'll see maybe part 1, part 2, or even part 3 of the same subject for my video. So anyway, that's it for now. I hope you are cooking up some good food today, some good comfort food. I hope you are resting up for the week ahead. If you are a working person, you know you need your rest, especially now, as crazy as this world is. You need your rest, you need your vitamins, you need to drink plenty of water, and you need to be happy. So be joyful, be kind, and have a great day. Thank you for joining. Bye now.